Hey everybody, it's Bruce, and I am the president of Tabletop Alliance. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization that exists to support the use of games in education, community programs, libraries, you name it. Why not let's play more games? And so we do that in a couple ways. One, we foster relationships within the industry, so that way we're able to acquire products and be able to get games. But then also on the flip side, we then send out those games for free to educators and community leaders and librarians so that way they can use them with students and in their contexts. And so one of those games that we've been able to send out lately is Last Message by Yellow. And so this video is going to be talking all about why we send this game out to different places. Now, also, spoiler alert, this is my personal copy because I have no more copies left here to send out, because guess what? We had a lot of orders come in recently. I was going to make this video, but alas, it's more important it goes out to a school, so I'll use my personal copy for that. And so Last Message, spoiler alert, has some really cool things going on. And so what we look for when we're assessing different games, we want it to be able to play within an hour kind of time frame because of time constraints in schools or other structures, and that means be able to set it up, play it, and then take it down all within an hour time frame. And what's cool is Last Message plays 3 to 8 players. Honestly, you can probably go a couple more than that if you really want to. Talk about how that works in a second. But it takes about 15 minutes ish to play. So it says 15 minutes, and honestly, every game I've played for this, it's been about 15 to 20 minutes, which is really cool. Actually, the first time I played this was at BGG Spring, and I was walking through the hall and saw these 3 individuals have this game set up. I was like, I've never seen that. What is this? They offered, hey, you want to come play? It's a really quick, fun game. I'd never met them before. I learned and played, won the game in like 25 minutes. All that. It was a great and whirlwind of a 25 minutes, which is instantly how I knew I wanted to send this out to schools. And so what's going on with this game is it's a take on deduction. So how can you use the clues that are going on around you to inform a hypothesis and then test that hypothesis and figure out who is the person of interest. Now, there's not a crime, there's none of those kind of things, but I'll use some of the same terminology from other deduction type things. So in this game, here's what happens. So this is actually 1/4 of one of these boards. And there's going to be somebody who is the kind of, quote unquote, let's call them the criminal. They will put a little marker on one of the individuals. And these are double-sided, so like the other side is aliens. And then there's like a Western one, the superhero one. So they're pretty cool. And they'll put a marker on that, and there's a screen between that player and the other players, with the exception of the witness. I'm just going to call them the witness. The witness knows exactly who they are, and their job is to convey to the other players, let's call them the detectives, who this person is. They can use words and they can use pictures, but it all happens via writing and drawing. And so what happens is they have 30 seconds to draw on this sheet. I'm going to draw something real fast. So let's say there's a this, and it's a person with arms. I'm looking at my timer, stressing out about it. Maybe their arms are like this, and they're next to a hill, and there's a door. And so maybe they're wearing a helmet on their head, and they're on some grass, and there's a well in the background, and there's time. So I have to stop. And so what I just drew is this. And so everything I just described, there's a goblin with horns. I even wrote the word goblin because again, you can use words and you can use pictures. And what's interesting about this game's going to take place over a couple rounds. And the first round, the criminal gets to put out, let's say, their alibi. And what they do is they take this sheet and they're going to erase 5 boxes. And so I'm going to erase 5 boxes right now. 1, and let's erase all of 3 of these off the left-hand side there. That's 3, 4, and let's also erase this one. The witness gets to hand the detectives this. It's pretty difficult. And the detectives then have, you can put a timer on this if you want to. I might recommend it, especially in the first couple plays. So that way people get used to what's going on. Because if you have players that might be analysis paralysis or things like that, it kind of forces a decision. And what this is doing is it's forcing in these after school programs and during school, it's you can make an informed choice on limited information. You have to be able to work with imperfect information. And more importantly, though, is after you do that, you're now adding new information to the system. So they might make a guess, and probably that guess is going to be wrong, and that's okay because it was a guess. They're testing their hypotheses. And then what happens is a new round begins, and a new timer starts up, and the person gets to draw on a new sheet of paper all over again. And with that, they get a little bit more information because, and I wouldn't recommend drawing the same thing, maybe try different tactics, right? So you can talk about communication, and should you be trying, if the one message isn't working, maybe you try different tactics. This is a really great game for talking about communication skills. But the criminal only then gets to erase 4, not 5 boxes. And then there's 2 more rounds after that, so they'll only be able to erase 3. They'll only be able to erase 2. The only rule with what you can draw is you can't do the same thing twice on a board. So you can't write goblin, 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 goblin and hope that it doesn't all get erased. And so it's really cool in that power of being able to lean in about communication, to be able to lean in. It's okay to not have all the information, but have to make a choice. And then guess what? You can go back to that and you get to try it again and try it again. So talk about mastery, right? Where it's like, you're not going to be perfect the first time you do something. And that's okay. But it's also a lot of fun. And so it's called Last Message because obviously it gets a little easier as it goes each time. And every time I've played this, it has come down to that last message. So Yellow, really great job naming this game. But this is Last Message. And the MSRP is really reasonable. And so it's been really good for us to be able to send out. And we've gotten some really cool feedback about it. So I've been enjoying sending this out and enjoy seeing the reactions. So if you appreciate the fact that we're doing these things, I encourage you to hit subscribe on here. You can go and learn more information by going to tabletopalliance.org, and make sure to follow us on all the social media platforms and things like that. But most importantly, if you know educators that would benefit from connecting with us, please, please, please send us their information or have them connect directly with us. My name is Bruce. My email is bruce@tabletopalliance.org. And so until the next video and the next game kit we send out, you can go make your positive impact on the world. Bye.